We're still at full speed searching Susannah's house for items to take to auction. While John and Susannah were discussing Ralph Steadman, I found this Japanese mirror that dates from around 1920. That's another £30 to £60 towards our £500 total. I'm starting to get the feeling that we're surrounded by many items of greatness. Still, I've just found something upstairs that leaves me feeling a little dumbfounded. Susannah? What's this?
You hiding away?
Well, I can tell this is a kind of a seat of some sort, but there's like this mechanism on the side, so I'm trying to work out what else it does.
Well, it's an ironing board. And
what?
It's library steps.
So
how's that an ironing board?
Let's see how this thing works.
Right, okay. This is it as a seat.
Right.
Okay, now, wait a minute. Oops, we have to get this out of it. Wait a minute. Now that, hang on, that makes it into an ironing board.
That is fantastic.
And you tighten these screws. And
how
then
remarkable.
You do that, and you've got your light.
It's the step ladder.
Well, I've certainly seen folding library steps before, but never ever have I seen an additional ironing board. The library steps really grew out of the Georgian period with the growth of gentlemen having libraries at home, the big library room, and so began the birth of library furniture, and the steps were one of those pieces that, you know, seem to go down really, really well at auction. These are early 1920s, certainly the first quarter of the 20th century, in a kind of arts and crafts style. I think this may well have been a piece of furniture for a butler or a housekeeper that would have been able to move the piece around, get to those awkward to reach places to dust, and also do the ironing.
Amazing. What's the story behind it?
I did a show in America, in California, and the people next door, they were moving. And I suddenly saw this outside my wall thing. And they said, oh, well, we haven't got room for it, we can't take it. And I said, oh, can I have it? And
I don't blame you.
Yes.
I must have to try that one day.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. That lovely shiny car you've got there, can I have it? Now, tell us the truth, have you ever used it as an ironing board?
Truthfully?
Yeah.
No.
I can't imagine.
I hate ironing.
I'm glad you haven't, because I dread to think of the damage a hot iron would do to the wood.
You put a sort of bit of felt on, wouldn't you? But, and it would be it's a funny kind of... Actually, it's not. It's quite a good height.
It's perfect,
it is
isn't it?
Perfect height, yes.
You can tell you're an actress. I could see that ironing board. What's the value?
Well, without the addition of the ironing board, it would quite easily make £100 to £150 at auction. Always popular, metamorphic furniture and folding library steps, but that ironing board, love it. Don't know what that's going to add to it in terms of value, but certainly 100 to 150 is a good place to start.
150 quid, that's great, but there's plenty more to see, so come on, let's get on with it. John's a fan of interesting furniture, and I think it's got him in the mood to find some more. Although the 4 chairs he's laid his hands on have seen better days. They include a Victorian balloon-back chair. Its seat needs a lot of attention, just like the wicker in these dining chairs. The 4th is also Victorian and was produced towards the end of the 19th century. John estimates this lot at £40 to £60. Susannah, you told me earlier on about growing up in Scotland. Is that when the acting bug first bit?
Yes, I guess so. I was always writing little plays from about 6, 7 and 8. I was always writing parts, playing games that were acting games. Now we've always taken the best part, i.e. the baddies.
Of course.
Of course.
Is it fair to say that what firmly put you on the map, if you like, was the film Tom Jones? Your life must have changed overnight, really.
Yes, it was an absolute eye-opener in a way, and of course it was one of the very early ones to be done in colour, and it simply doesn't date. It was always my kids, one of their favourites. Let's watch Tom Jones.
You've had a phenomenal career, though. What have been some of the highlights for you?
Well, different characters I played, often in the theatre, Ranievskaya in The Cherry Orchard, Blanche in Streetcar Named Desire. Oh, Peter Pan has to be one of the very best.
I didn't expect you to say that.
Oh, it's a great part. And I must say that, and Superman's mum.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I was going to have to bring it up, of course. It's a fantastic film.
Yes, well, those 2 parts, Peter Pan, and that sort of made my card for my kids.
Incredible actors you've worked with as well.
Oh, yes.
Is there a favourite?
Favourite? Well, I could number lots because...
Go on then.
Well, some great actors, Glenda Jackson, Elizabeth Taylor, Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando was your husband, wasn't he?
He was indeed, yes,
Yeah,
yes, father of my children.
Not many people can say that. Yeah, very special son you had together.
I did, yes, we did. Yes.
Rather super. Does it mean then that you get to go to all these premieres and red carpet events?
Oh, well, there's always been lots of those right from the beginning, really.
Do you enjoy them?
No.
Really?
I'm not a red carpet person at all.
Why do you say that?
I have this absolute terror of going to things, because I will look at somebody and I say, have I just seen them on television or do I really know them? And of course, I have very good memories, but I can convince myself that it's not Glenda, or it's not Wendy Hiller, or it's not so-and-so and so-and-so, or I haven't worked with them, I just dreamt I worked with them.
So with your mind and your animation, you could only be an actress, really. Well, listen, I could talk to you forever, but we're here to do some work, so we better carry on with our rummage. Come on, let's carry on.
OK.
While we've been chatting, Susannah's friend Chrissy has arrived to help out with the rummage, and she's already struck gold. They've been friends for 30 years, and during that time, Susannah has collected a wardrobe full of designer clothes. There are labels here including Jean-Paul Gaultier, Yuki and Kenzo. John values these at £150 to £250. John's also uncovered these old maps. They show the City of London wards of Bishopsgate, Broad Street and Langbourne in the 1720s. They belong to Susannah's father, but she's happy to let them go to auction, with a price tag of £40 to £60 on them. John's really on a roll, but his next find could have us rocking.
Susannah, Chrissy,
Yes? Coming.
come here, have a look at this chair we found upstairs. But I'm hoping you're not that attached to it that we can't send it to auction.
Now, hang about. Why?
Because I like it and I think it'll be a good seller. Is there a story attached to this?
Yeah, I know. It's a really nice one because it's a small one and it's pretty.
It is a nice chair.
And I found it in the street. Somebody was literally putting it out on the street because they were moving again and didn't have room.
I think we'd come and hang out with you.
I know. I'm quite good to hang out with.
Well, there's an interesting story attached to the chair. It's of a kind known as bentwood, or Thonnet style. Now, Thonnet was a chap called Michael Thonnet, German or Austrian-born furniture designer, who in the 19th century was experimenting with bentwoods, trying to produce durable and cheap furniture. And he came up with that iconic cafe chair, you know, the bentwood chair? Yeah. And do you know, over 50 million of those chairs have been made since they were designed. Wow. It's an amazing, and they're very durable. They turn up at auction, 100 years old, and they're still pretty good.
What sort of wood is it?
The frame is beechwood, very close grained and perfect for the use in making chairs because you can bang lots of tacks into it for upholstering purposes and the wood doesn't split. This has a link to Thonnet, to the 19th century, and what's great about it is this, what we call Bergère style caning to the seat and back. When that's damaged, it's so expensive to have redone, it's not worth it.
I know.
So you've got a chair in pretty good condition with an iconic look about it, which I think would be great at auction. Well, it didn't cost you anything.
No, it didn't.
Does need a little bit of polishing. The varnish has started to
Yes.
perish. However, I still think this should be making between £50 and £100 at auction.
Fantastic.
Easily. And I think we may have our first bidder here.
Yeah.
You want to try it?
Yes, let
try
me
it.
go.
Sit. Rock. I would even take the varnish off. Strip it.
Very comfy.
Well, don't get too comfy,
Like-
Chrissy, because we've still got lots of rummaging to do. So
good,
before
isn't
you nod off, come on, let's go and
All
see what
right
else we
then,
can
come
find
on
around
then.
this house.
Well, our rummage day is almost over, and sadly, Chrissy has to leave us now. She's only just arrived. But we'll meet her again come auction day. Before we finish, though, I'm delighted to find these Moorish-inspired urns. They boast some lovely floral decoration on white metal, and John values them at £30 to £40. Plus, Susannah is so keen to ensure we have plenty to sell, she throws in these 2 books. During the 1970s, she added the role of children's author to her long list of accomplishments. Susannah wrote In Search of Unicorns in 1973 and Lark's Castle 3 years later. They sold for around £2.50 each back then. Now blessed with her autograph, John reckons they could bring us £40 to £60. And it looks like they may not be the only items with a neat personal touch that Susannah has for us today.